Hi everyone, I would like to go over my design process. To begin, I like to take the actual flowers and take the petals apart and just trace them on a piece of paper to get the basic shape. So if you are a flower and you have the misfortune of being in my possession, this is what happens. I basically take down notes of where everything is. Leaves, there's a bud here, buds here, and a flower here. I didn't make it as how it was. This was the basis for my enchanted rose pattern. I think if I were to do a replica of this actual sprig, I would actually need to use smaller beads. And as I'm designing, I like to write down the pattern on the piece of paper, how many grams of beads I started with, and the amount of wire that I used also. Okay, let's see. This actually is my old process of doing things. It's not as time efficient because as I'm doing this, I've got all these pieces of paper and it just gets lost. Some of them just get lost, and sometimes I just have no idea, like, how many grams of beads do I need for this? So I've started taking notes on my phone instead. And see what else I have. Yellow magnolia. Traced all of these petals. And just basically the length of the actual, the stems and the leaves. This is a pink magnolia. And as you can see, the papers are discolored because, I have the actual petals on the paper, and that just discolors the papers somewhat. And here I've actually started making the yellow magnolia. I'm going to get back to it. Pink one. The yellow one and the pink one are quite similar. And I guess expect to see some of these flowers in the future. Crabapple. More crabapple. I haven't made this yet. These are just notes. And I have no idea what this is. I think these are lilacs. I have a feeling I won't be doing this one because I just don't know what it is. Jabura daisy. These were the leaves for the rose. And this is for peach blossoms. It's actually the project that I'm working on right now. Oh, these are really old. It's on different paper. And I have no idea what this is. It's something. Okay. Well, like I said, that was my old process. And then I decided that's probably not a great system, so I started using a sketchbook instead. And as I'm using this sketchbook, I noticed that I'm doing less and less notes. I just basically traced everything. Handsy. And as I'm sketching now, I'm also taking pictures that I save to my computer. So when I get back to it later, I'll compare colors as I'm designing. I already have the leaf done for the pansy. I don't have it here, but I have that done. But with all of these things I've sketched out, I've got plenty to keep me busy. Let's see, daylily. This is a really long leaf. Cosmo, it's the one I grew actually. Iris. I bought this from Trader Joe's. Sunflower. The sunflower is actually from my mom's garden. And double bloom hibiscus, also from my mom's garden. It's a very beautiful flower. And this is I think it is it's either a mum or a daisy. It looks like a daisy, but it has lots and lots of petals. There's 116 petals. Okay, and yellow dahlia from my mom's garden. And this is a small purple dahlia. I actually started designing that and see if I have it. I have the petals basically started, and I tried to do this on a continuous basic frame kind of. I'm not sure if I like it or not. And I got tired of tracing, and I basically just taped this onto my sketchbook. Orchid. And I have little leaves here. And pink dahlia is also part of the dahlia. Maple leaf, more maple leaves, and I believe that is it. All right, now you've seen my future projects and projects that I'm currently working on. I got these and this is the project that I'm currently working on. It is for my peach blossoms, and these are the notes for it. And as I'm designing, I like to use a neutral color, or it doesn't have to be neutral. I like to just use one color, just so that it's easier to bead. I just want, when I get started, I just want to get the basic shape of it first, before, I use all these different colors. It would just go faster. I wanted to get the shape and also get the technique down before I play with the colors. And it's basically kind of like this. With this design, I wanted to get all I use white and also some cheap wire. I don't like to use my good wire when I'm first designing, because chances are I'm going to take it apart anyway. So I don't want to use my good wire. I just use my cheap wire and use one color bead. So that way it just goes faster and I'm not wasting wire. And I like the shape of it for the dahlia. This was a continuous basic that I was doing. It was a trick that I learned from Rosemary Topa, to do continuous loops and then cut the wires apart and then turning each one into a basic frame. Very cool. there's that. But back to the the peach blossoms. The actual flower had 30 pistils, and as I was designing this, I only did 30 because, I only did 15 because 30 was a lot. So, of course, as you're, translating from the actual flower to beaded flower, sometimes you just have to make changes to make it work. Normally I would have done a continuous wraparound, but I wanted basic frames for this. I just wanted that look, and so I did 2 split basics for the peach blossoms. And this was a pretty easy and straightforward design. It only took me maybe about 2 or 3 times before I got the flowers right, and about 2 times before I got the leaves right. So it was pretty straightforward. I would say that's pretty straightforward if I'm not messing around with the design for hours and hours on end. And I am really loving these new work trays that I got. Let's see this here, like this. I have one design on each tray, and as I'm working, I can put more trays on top. And this is another project that I'm working on. And then I can put another tray on top, like this. So I can keep working. And it just basically saves space. Can you guess what I'm working on here? I have 4 of these trays. I shouldn't have more than 4 projects going on at once, right guys? I shouldn't. So far I have just 3. I want to show you guys this homemade bead spinner that my husband made for me. It is a electronic one. There's a battery, and he used VCR parts to make it. And I took out the band on here, so it doesn't really work as an electronic one anymore. And I also misplaced the charger that he made. So I need to find the band, and I need to find the charger if I want to make it electronic again. I took it out years ago because I really didn't want it to be electronic at the time. It goes pretty fast, and I really didn't need it to be electronic, because if I'm just putting on a small amount of beads for a design, I just need to spin it for a little bit, and then that's all I needed. I didn't need tons and tons of beads on a wire at a time. What is cool about this is it has 2, bowls. You can put beads in the inner bowl, and as you're spinning, unlike the regular bead spinners, the beads will not jump over the bowl and onto your table everywhere. It will just go into the inner bowl. And these are all the beads that I collected from the outer bowl. Just bead soup. What I like to do is, I don't like to put beads in here. You can put beads in here and then spin. But what I noticed that is, I had some green beads in here, and then I had some other random beads that I've gotten out here. So so when I dumped everything back into this container, I got all these other random beads mixed in with my green. So what I like to do is, okay, fine, I'll show you. Okay, hey, I can pour some beads in here, and I can put some beads on wire. Let's put it in this wire. So spin it. And you can get the beads on wire. But I'm going to dump it back into this container because you see all these beads that flew out into the outer bowl. I don't want that all mixed up. What I like to do with it is put this container on top over the bowl. And another cool thing is I can put another one on top, and I can put another one on top, and I can put another one on top. So as I'm designing, okay, I want this color bead, right? I got this peach. This is rainbow peach, light rainbow peach. I like it. And, all right, I want this light peach. So spin. And then you got light peach on here. And then say, oh, I want this, oh, I think this is rainbow red, some sort of rainbow red. Okay, so let's do this. And I'm done with this, and I want more of this color, or I want more of this color, or I want green, or I want silver, or I want this beet soup on here. You think I can spin with all these cups on top? Let's see. Will it spin? There's just not much of the beet soup in there, but I got some of it. You see? You see? Right there. Here. So, question. How many of these cups do you think I can stack and I'll still spin? Alright, so that's my cool bead spinner, guys. Alright, I do want to mention, if you want these containers, these were hummus containers that I got at Costco. The organic hummus in these little cups. And this was the Mott's applesauce containers. Works really well. Or I had these little cups that I bought. They're what? Zip top cups? What are they called? Whatever. Tupperware sort cups. They had a cover on. They had a cover too. So these also fit in there pretty well. But I like these smaller ones from the hummus containers because it fits perfectly into my tray. It holds about 40 grams of beads at a time, and then I can just put a different tray on top with the beads that I'm working on. I can't do that with the bigger cups. I can't do that with this applesauce cup, but I can do it with the smaller hummus ones. And then I can just keep going to the next project.